Outlander is one of those shows that manages to keep us in a constant state of intrigue and suspense. With Season 8 on the way, Claire and Jamie's story of historic struggles and time travel is coming to a close after more than a decade. And honestly, you guys, based on what we know so far, I can confidently say that it will be a final that is well worth waiting for. But when will the final season arrive? How will the show differ from the books this time? Let's find out together. The massive saga that unfolds in Outlander is truly a sight to behold. Looking back at the 6.5 season we now have, it is evident that Outlander is not a single show. In fact, to me, it feels like it is 3 or 4 shows stacked inside a long trench coat. So, how is a show this massive supposed to wrap up? Like, I feel like my brain would explode thinking how all these storylines fold. Plus, we do know from the show's official podcast that the producers of the show and the author of the books have different visions for the finale. Producers have admitted that our leads were too good to have a happy ending. To quote them directly, "Bad things always happen to good people." It is a wicked perspective, I know, but a part of me admits that the best shows have the best people with terrible fates, and I'm afraid Outlander will not be an exception to that rule. Would you be upset to see Claire and Jamie having the worst fate ever? Or do you think it is a must-have to have a proper ending to the epic show? Let me know in the comments.
Sandy?
Although this news might sound disappointing, considering we have been watching these characters go through some of the toughest struggles anyone can come across, the producers still promise that they envision an ending that is absolutely satisfactory. After all, a sad ending could also be very satisfactory, right? Nevertheless, any comfort this statement could bring is challenged by the fact that the final season will be only 10 episodes, said to be released in 2025. How a massive show of nearly 90 episodes is supposed to wrap up in just 10 is beyond me, honestly. Like, we deserve at least 15 episodes to make sure there are no loose ends. But let me know what you think about the episode number. This news is also worrying considering the fate of shows like Game of Thrones, which were not given enough time to finalize their story in a satisfying fashion. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still bitter about the Game of Thrones finale. And the last thing I want is to see Outlander sharing a similar fate. Amid all this news though, seeing interviews and behind-the-scenes photos from the cast is very comforting. This pic from the final table read specifically has warmed my heart. You can see in both Sam Hohen and Katrina Balfe's faces that they are both tired, nostalgic, and excited with the finale they are about to shoot. Also, I would love to bring this pic back of Sam and Claire holding the clapperboard for the final shot. Makes you say, what a journey. From what I can tell, they all look pretty confident in the story they have told. Plus, something Outlander has in terms of advantage is that the 7th season was originally written to be the final season. This is why it was separated into 2 parts. But clearly, it was decided later on that the 7th season won't be enough to tell it all. And hence, we have an 8th season. Thank God. So it is fair to assume that Season 8 will be playing the role of an epilogue. This simple piece of information changes a lot more than you think, because when put in perspective, the 8th season might be 10 episodes long, but the finale, technically, is comprised of 26 episodes, 7th and 8th seasons combined. See how a shift in perspective makes everything look much better. So what do we actually know about the plot of Season 8? We know that the 7th season, with the second half to start releasing on the 22nd of November, is said to adapt the 7th book in the series, An Echo in the Bone, and we will go right ahead and assume the 8th season will adapt the 8th book, written in my own heart's blood. But for those who don't follow the Outlander books, there is a 9th book and even a 10th on the way. Knowing this, it is fair to assume that author Diana Gabaldon has different plans. This is nothing new, as the show and the book have had their differences in the past as well. For example, Murda in the books died in the Battle of Culloden, but in the show, he went on to live a longer life, had his fair share of period piece romance, and again died on a battlefield. but this time as an adversary to Jamie Fraser. Another change that can be seen as significant is the depiction of Frank, Claire's husband in the 1940s. In the books, he is much less bearable, and the choice between him and Jamie is clear. The producers of the show, however, decided to take things in a different direction. In the show, Frank is a much better man. He even takes Brianna as his daughter, after learning that his wife was pregnant with someone that has been dead for at least a century. Changes like these tend to sour the relationship between the executives and the author. But in Outlander's case, there seems to be mutual respect, and changes are seen as necessary and welcome by both fans and Diana herself. I can confidently say that everyone involved is working hard to provide us with a satisfying story. Whether you are following the books or the TV show, I think there will be an ending that will satisfy the majority of the fans in the end. What should happen in the Outlander finale so that you would feel satisfied with the ending? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. With the second part of Season 7 now accommodated to be the penultimate season on its way in just a week, we are both excited and cautious about the road ahead. Knowing history has failed us with these long-lasting adaptations in the past, it is really hard for fans of the show to bear the weight of the wait. While I do understand these concerns, I feel compelled to remind everyone that Outlander has been a lot more consistent with its quality compared to some of the other examples that might pop into your head. Whatever happens in the finale, one thing is certain: we are not ready to leave Claire and Jamie, but it seems like that's something we'll have to figure out in their absence. For more updates on Outlander, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.